Turn that on button.
With the button. Okay.
There button on there.
About to be on. Now we'll see. There you go.
Voila.
Right.
Record the cloud.
TV. What, no gas though.
Okay.
What's going on? Little turtles. Yeah. Don't say it too loud.
Oh,
Oh, right. We'll go there. Right. Yeah. I mean, if the dash is something that I get my grade. I might get cards.
you can share. Don't back.
So what's Rodney say? And why isn't he going to stay?
No.
Yeah, well, right. You think that's gonna give you a clarity? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's open the meeting. Bring the meeting to order.
Okay.
And we'll start with the Lord's report given by.
Okay. They've been spot grading and cleaning ditches. He doesn't wanna grade,
Fresh baked cookies.
he didn't wanna grade a lot because of the weather.
Yes.
He's had Larry today and tomorrow. When it's raining, he's having little Larry draw stones from leather. Because he wants to get 20 loads up here to do recreation.
This is Larry White.
No, little Larry.
Oh, okay.
Well,
He
yeah.
mentioned Larry doing it.
Oh, maybe
One day.
we just said Larry and I just assumed Larry.
Little Larry brought a load of sand over the hill today, but maybe he was gonna go down that way too.
Okay, well, anyways, somebody's drawing stones.
Call Larry.
Oh, Larry.
Hey, Larry.
Daryl.
That'd be Daryl, wouldn't it? He put some of that material in the blacktop on Spring Road.
Yeah.
And he put some somewhere else, and he drove up there this morning, and those spots weren't muddy at all.
And that's the material from Lebanon?
Yes.
That's really good. From Spring.
Yes, it does.
Really?
Where is it on that? It's right at the end of the blacktop.
The solid wood, so it's labeled what almost the
Yeah.
rest of the whole hill there. It'd be nice to see next spring how it looked at.
Oh, right, that's in there. John Deere come down and finished up the grader service. So that's not.
We had Matt said he saw some huge crane like over the grader.
But they checked everything, everything's good, you know, changed all the oils, whatever they did. So it's all done. The Challenger has been taken apart, but Rodney didn't have a good feeling about when it was gonna go back together. But they have ripped it apart. Split it apart, so.
Kept all the old parts.
Yeah. He's been trying to get a price out of Bobby Button to mow roadside. And he hasn't been able to get a price out of him.
Bob's working on that. I was just up there this afternoon and Rob brought up the fact that he was gonna rent, and so he had his man servicing the mower.
Oh.
And he was taking it to get it filled up with fuel and everything.
Oh.
They thought they had it, so they were gonna be able to rent it
Oh,
already, so.
because Rodney said he tried calling him again this morning, couldn't get a hold of him.
Yeah.
So I got half my side of the bill done.
Did he say what about who's been doing the mowing? Is it kind of Royalton?
I'm getting to that.
Oh,
Calm down.
I figured that was part of that same paragraph.
Stratford did the Stratford Road, then Sharon did the north end of town.
Oh, okay.
Bicknell Hill and up that way.
Mhm.
price, I don't know how much.
Somebody went by a farm with one,
Oh, really?
a John Deere with,
Yeah, well, anyway, Sharon's been doing.
Yeah.
Some.
Yeah.
How come you get your road wall?
a.
Yeah,
Was that like 3 towns have done stuff, I think. Sharon, Stratford, and Royal.
I'm not sure.
Or Chelsea.
well,
Chelsea didn't, because Chelsea rents their machine,
right,
so, I mean, maybe they rented it and came to Tunbridge.
Matt put in 2 culverts. And. Oh, Rodney's gonna fix gag rails on the bridge entrances. Wooden gag rails, and Timmy called him this morning, and said he should, Timmy Angel called him this morning, and said he should be done by noon today. With sawing out the material. And so Rodney was gonna send somebody over, to pick it up if it was done.
Yep.
And they were gonna start on that as soon as they could. Here's one for Becky. Apparently they've only got a 5% raise.
Oh, yeah, they got this up. I did, I only get 10
We gave the road crew 10.
and everybody else got
Got
5.
5.
Well,
And
somehow we only put 5 into the budget. I don't know if we talked about 10 and then looked at 5,
another 4.
and then because it increased the budget.
Town report, I don't know if it's within the budget or not.
Well, unfortunately, we only have the 5%.
Well, unfortunately, we told them we were gonna give them a 10% raise,
Okay,
and I guess one of the employees has been flipping out about it.
well. Okay, let me say this. This is maybe not the year to increase the budget.
I didn't say it was, but if we agreed to do something, we do it.
Okay, but what I'm saying though is, we've already created the budget, and what we put in the budget was 5. I don't know why, don't know if. I mean, we talked about 10 and we talked about 5, and I think we didn't want to raise it. I honestly
not the
don't
way I-
remember. I don't remember,
I do.
but
And
when you guys approved the budget, that was what was in there. So if you wanna do that, you're gonna have to up the entire budget. You'll have to up by there another 5% for them.
In a round figure, what's 5%? I mean, I know it's hard, because then it's. Workman's comp goes up that much, and this goes up, and everything goes up. There's
I
like
had a town report.
167,000 or something like that is workers, the road crew or something like that is. Salaries, total salaries or something. So the point is, 10% of that would be 16,700. If that was a figure.
Yeah. Budgeted for 5.
That's what happens, I guess that was my point, half of 16 is only 8, so it's not a massive increase.
But I don't remember us ever matching all the.
I don't think there's one kind of that. The law, that's my way of seeing it.
That's the only way it's, you know.
Yeah. And this is only well, no, this is the current fiscal year, so it should have it in here somewhere.
Yeah, but it doesn't tell you any. You know,
Yeah, yeah,
give
right.
that kind of.
You'd have to have last year's comparison.
Road crew wages. Oh. 212,605.
So if you just did 5% on that, it's 10,630, which could be more than the actual.
If you, yeah, so, oh, I have to go by. That's just road crew, you gotta include foreman wages, you've gotta include.
Right.
Their FICA. And then.
Yeah, 4%.
Child.
Children.
And it's not gonna go up.
If it's a 212 is a new one, that's 5%, whatever.
Well, that's also 212 plus. Plus Rodney.
So we're looking at $16,840.50.
That's if it were 10%, that's the total.
That would add, by adding another 5%, we're adding 16,840.50.
Divided by 12.
Here's my next question. And I don't know the answer.
Yep.
Can you do that after you've voted on the budget?
What's that?
You've already voted on a budget, passed the budget at town meeting. And we randomly add another $16,000.
I don't think it's random. And
But
we can take our 30,000 surplus and turn it into wages.
you can, but what I'm saying is to add it to the tax after you've already voted. Is what I'm saying.
No, I don't think you have to do that. Well,
I
we went over.
would have to add it to what we raise in taxes. But we've already voted on a budget and said this is what we need to raise. And now we're saying we're gonna add more to that.
Yeah, but last year we had 175 for gravel and we spent 200 and something. And we went over budget.
We went over budget. So you can say, I'm gonna add that, but we're not putting it into the budget.
Yeah.
And we're not raising it in taxes, which means we're gonna have a deficit.
Yeah.
in the plan.
Well, that's what I'm getting to is.
Raises for highway department employees are 10%. Because it didn't get added in, I don't know if that's our fault.
So here's what I'm saying, this could be a human error, this could be my error, I'm not denying that. What I'm saying is I can't add it.
Yeah.
To the budget at this point.
Well, like Larry said, Gary said, we can go over.
You
budget.
guys definitely can plan for a deficit if that's what you would like to do. But what I'm saying is I can't add it to the budget. I can't then add it to what I'm keep asking people to pay in taxes.
Right.
You can take the surplus and not give it to people as a tax reduction if that's what you want to do. It's up to you guys.
What I wonder is what is the legalities of us doing what Mike is suggesting, that we just give it to them.
I guess we can't, cause don't we have to vote on general?
We do, but like I said about the gravel, we didn't want our budget.
So I think as long as you guys are not asking more from the taxpayers, you can do whatever you want. You just.
Right.
You can take it from the general fund surplus. You can, you know, hope that we have a surplus this year and that it all, you know, trickles down. But what I'm saying is that I can't add it to what we are asking in taxes.
Right.
Because we already.
Right, but it's a situation where, say, like, we passed a budget, the line item for sand wasn't in there at all, so we didn't budget for sand for a year, what would we do? We would find it somewhere else.
So we would pay that, but all I am saying, all I am getting at is that we can't put it into taxes.
Right.
So it would be a planned deficit that we're, you know. I mean,
Take from another
16,000
line
is
item.
not gonna kill us. I just want you guys to know that going in, that you're then planning for a $16,000 deficit.
Okay.
It could become a, you know, it could be, you know, lessened by surplus. It could be, you know. And I mean, it's not like there isn't a cushion there. It just, we can't add it to current budget. Because that would, we've already voted that.
But if you think it's, wages are no different than any of the other line items that we have a certain amount of wiggle, then it seems like you just.
I mean, you guys can decide to pay them 5% more. I don't think there's anything against that. I just can't pay it. I can increase their pay by another 5%. I can't then put that in the budget because we've already voted it. Unless you want to take it from one line item to another. We'll do that.
Doing that, right?
Well, at the end of the year, we might.
Well, I
Well,
rarely take from one line item to the other because
Well, no, we don't do that though, because at the end we have a lump of money left
Right.
over and we don't.
And we have a certain amount of surplus
Yeah.
already.
But you guys can always say. You could always take the gravel and say, you know what, we're gonna take 16,000 out of the gravel. And even if we go over by 16,000 in the gravel, that's fine, but we're gonna move that to there. You guys can say that unequivocally.
Right.
Because once you've budgeted the money and it's been approved, there's nothing that says you have to use the money that you budgeted in the way that you budgeted. That you can rearrange. But we can't add money to the budget and say, we're gonna add money on
Special town meeting.
Yes.
Well, I think we should do that then, like even right now. And just plan on, like, is there a suggestion, spending 16,800 less on gravel?
Right,
And
or something.
right. I mean, I think gravel is a huge number, so hopefully things go well. And we
Yeah,
don't
but
have.
sometimes we don't use much salt, we got a bunch of money left in
Right.
salt.
Well, yeah, we didn't use all of our salt money last year.
So yeah,
So I
we
would-
can, what,
I was gonna say, I would recommend to cover Becky with the auditors, that if you make this decision, that someone makes a motion
Yes.
that you're going to honor the such and such in the book and your blah, 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 that way.
Right.
Yes.
It's in the meeting, so that when Becky's audited and asks, how come you gave the road
Right.
crew another 5%? It's not,
Yeah.
cause my husband works on the road
yes,
crew and I
you
want
guys
to.
don't need to say, I can't do it unless you guys make the motion. And we definitely, I'm not saying we cannot do it, I'm just saying we have to. You know, I just can't add it into the budget.
Right, and we should make it retroactive to the 1st of July, the first of the fiscal year. too.
Right.
But do
If
we
you
have,
want
do
to
we
read it,
specifically
glasses.
have to mention one of the other line items that we're gonna steal from?
From glasses.
Pretty much.
No, I don't
Does that
think
make it easier
so,
for
we
you?
can just wait till the end of the year, and if we have
I was gonna say,
25,000 left over from everything.
We can use
That way we don't have to say we're taking it from salt or taking it from guardrails or.
I mean, yeah. In general, you don't have to say, I'm going to take this from
Right.
this.
Or make a motion that. we give the highway department employees their 10% raise that we thought we were giving retroactive to July 1st.
And do we wanna add anything then? That. The monies will be coming out of already approved highway
And the
budget.
money will be coming out of the already approved town budget.
I second.
All in favor of Mike's motion, say aye. Aye. Are you taking minutes, Mary?
I'm not.
Oh, okay. Somebody should take a few minutes. You want to do that,
Should
John?
be on.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, Mariah can sit you in.
Right.
What's going on with this weird blurry?
You have to ask Mary Ann.
Blurry?
I could be
Oh.
like witness protection.
That's what I did. He said,
Is that it? Nope, that's not it.
I think is it on the screen?
Might be on the screen.
yeah.
Well, no, it should be on the camera. It's right here. It's on your owl.
Come off.
Your owl has a little dirt on him.
That's how they do the witness protection there.
Oh, nice. Look how nice John looked.
Hang on, any guess? Okay, John?
Mary Ann.
Thank you. I think you're up for the rescue. But what else is going on in the highway department?
Rodney had talked earlier about thinking about trading for, or buying a new roadside mower or something, but he thinks the next piece of equipment we should be looking at upgrading would be the loader.
Mhm.
It's got 8,000 hours on it, which, you know, I think the motor's all right and stuff. Well, I think everything's all right, because they came and checked it, but do you have your equipment?
I don't have it on me.
Okay.
But still, we're looking a couple of years out, maybe.
Yeah,
Because we still got that other truck to pay for and.
there he is,
Everything comes.
the man of the half hour.
And what's a loader cost, 3 something?
Oh my God,
That's the greater that.
wouldn't even
It costs $325.
have it top 350. He's, he was only in 11, that's 13 years old. So 8,000, so you're not doing 1,000 hours a year, that's not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something, just he wanted us to keep in mind.
He said a tractor after that.
Yeah, also get that back.
That'd be good, yeah.
And I guess that,
So for the road.
Excuse me?
If you're done for the road, if you're done with your report, this is where I was hoping Rodney was gonna be here tonight. So we had put in the RFP for slide number 2 for Stratford Road that we were opening for bids, closing bids. I can't remember if it was last Thursday or Friday afternoon, and that we were selecting tonight. I have the 2 bids and I gave you each a copy of those, but Rodney hasn't seen them because this one came in today.
oh, because he said something about that. That he had received, or you still needed something from the state or something?
We don't have the countersigned agreement yet, but that doesn't stop us from awarding it.
Okay,
Because we have a notice of award to us. So these are the 2 bids. I'm pretty sure Rodney's seen this one, because this came from the group, the Sanborn Head is the group who's doing slide number 1.
yeah,
And was submitted by that same group, and they talked to Rodney about it before
Yeah.
he submitted this, but
This-
he has not seen this one because it came in the mail today.
this is just for an engineer.
This is just the engineer to determine the fix. And then we need this done, which is what we put in the RFP, I think by November 16th or something like that, because we have. Or I might even put November 1st in the RFP, because we have to submit the application to get the funds to do the fix by November 20th or something like that. It's a November, mid-November deadline we have to meet, so the engineers have to be done with their work. With a couple of weeks there for us to do the application. And that's the one that Rodney was talking about a couple of weeks ago, where there's like up to $10 million. So we don't want to miss the deadline for the funds, because I think they fully expect the fix to be close to $1 million.
Stanmore did slide one, right?
They're still working on slide one. And the fix. They were contracted for both pieces. So they're not done with slide one yet, but they are doing both pieces.
But their engineering plan would be part of our application.
Yes, in fact, what we're asking these guys to do, all the other work leads up to having a BCA, a benefit cost analysis, which is where they looked at multiple options. And tell us how much each option is going to cost and which one they recommend. And that's what the next phase, the next FEMA, it's actually for FEMA, but it's the next hazard mitigation grant program application requires you have that BCA. You cannot submit without it. So that's the output that would be the most critical from either one of these two topics. I looked at them, the two numbers are very close. One's 73 something and the other one's 82 something, but it's 73, 1949, and then 83,500.
Are we on a deadline to accept one of these tonight? Or is it?
No. Yeah, so if you have to do it in a meeting, then I'm a little bit worried, because when we posted the RFP, it looks like you guys meet the 2nd and 4th Tuesdays, and because of the weirdness of this current month, you actually won't meet for 2 weeks. It'll be 3 weeks from tonight before you meet again, which will put us, because the next week's the 5th Tuesday.
Yeah.
Then the 1st Tuesday, so it'll be 3 weeks out before you meet again, which will put us selecting somebody 3 weeks behind.
Well, my feeling,
Let us know your feelings.
my feelings, that we would go with that Sanborn had the 10,000 cheaper plus.
They're already.
We've already dealt with. You think or you're dealing with them all right?
Yeah, I wasn't sure what I'm allowed to officially say, but it seems like it makes complete sense to me to go with the engineering firm that's already there, already doing the work.
And they're cheaper too.
So I mean, I will say, when I look at these guys, they clearly could do the work.
Oh, yeah.
And they have all the right words, and they have, I didn't make it up for everybody, but they have an entire supplemental package about like who they are and projects they've done. I mean, they obviously are an excellent firm.
And they're working fair share and scrap and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, local, but Sanborn has.
We've had a hard time finding engineers, right?
Right. Hey, okay. Hi there. Proceed. Thank you. You want to make a motion?
I will make the motion. Make the motion that we, employ,
Contract me?
contract, Sanborn head to do the engineering for Stratford Road and Bank failure number 2 for $73,019.49.
Second.
Right, all in favor of Mike's motion, please say aye. Aye. Unanimous.
This is the one that came in over there.
Yes. Let's pick it up from bottom.
Are you gonna get back in touch with these people, or should Mariah when she gets back?
No, I think Mariah will, I don't know what the normal, the only reason why I was even here talking about these was because of the tight timeline, and this was Mariah's vacation week, otherwise she would have normally, whatever your normal project list, we would have followed. So I will just let her, she'll see it, but I'll let her know what the decision was, and then she'll do her normal process of whatever she does.
Okay, excellent.
Thank you.
Have her definitely say, well, keep in touch.
Yes, thank you very
A
much.
lot of engineering.
Yeah.
A lot of road projects.
Yeah.
Well, like you were saying, like, part of the requirement now is that's really pretty engineering. And stuff.
Anything else? Road related, Mary Ann?
I have grant stuff, which are road related, but if you want me to do that at the end, we can wait.
You're gonna be here anyway?
For a little while.
Okay.
I don't know who else we have on the agenda that's waiting for their turn.
No, you're done.
Well, I think it is actually.
Oh, yeah.
We don't have a picture copy. Give me those cookies.
In fact, recall.
Don't see it here.
He's got it on his.
Yes, we are.
Digital.
It was in your packet, I thought I saw it in your packet, but when I was looking to see if Mariah had any copy.
Here it is, digitally, 6:30 approved municipal tax rate and use of surplus.
Right there.
Look at that. All the
You just got a packet.
Oh, you have to do this. Thank you. You want to do the tax rate?
Thank you.
Thank you.
And use of surplus.
I think that has something to do with Becky.
Right. Well, she gave us, yeah.
Yeah.
About surplus.
Marion, what do you need to cover? Okay, I don't see it on here, so I just.
Yeah,
Sorry.
so I think after Mariah already did the agenda, Gary saw me at the horse barn and asked about the comment about grants, so I think I am like, I'm the other business as stated.
Okay.
Was that some of the whiteboards?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Normally you have baseball or something, don't you?
Yes, I skipped my softball game.
Oh, okay, all right, thank you. Anyway, this is the tax rate stuff here. Without the surplus being put toward reducing taxes, the tax rate would be 274.99. And if you put the $29,000.
That's non-resident.
Oh, okay.
This is resident.
Oh, okay. 252.26 is the resident rate, 274.99 is a non-resident. And if you put the, I think it's $29,000, isn't it?
Yeah.
Toward it.
39,826.
What was the 29 from?
Surplus.
And it lowers it to
General fund surplus?
Yes.
250.4. 250.46. And then the residential rate is 273.19.
Easy for you to
It
say.
is, it's really easy. What's your pleasure?
I guess I make the motion that we go with using the surplus. Not a tax rate of $50.46.
Using it.
Using the surplus.
Yeah.
That brings it down
Oh.
2 cents. Roughly.
So using the surplus as a tax reduction.
Right.
You just made that a motion,
Yeah.
All second.
okay. All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, so we said yes, Becky, to reducing,
All right, so just choose that page and you all sign that page.
okay.
And then we can recycle the one that says. Do that.
Well, I'm gonna do it now. Oh, what's this? This is one wrong, Tim.
That was just using general fund surplus, not highway fund surplus.
There is no
Highway
highway
did not.
fund surplus.
The highway had a sixty.
What's the date today? 7/20.
Great.
Three.
Next,
Or one lot.
That's good. Fine. Right, fine. So,
Ready?
is that all you needed from us, Becky?
That's all I needed. Do you guys have any other things for me? Or I don't know what?
No.
When I done and built out.
So crazy enough, paper came today. And I have the envelopes, so as soon as Rudy and I can get it together, it could be in the next 2 weeks, I imagine.
How long will it take to get Ruby together?
That could be long.
I don't know, there's a whole new process on how to do it, so. I don't think it should be too bad.
Yeah.
It looks relatively.
Yeah.
And should take the human error.
Yeah, mechanical error.
Exactly.
why is the owl focused on quiet Dave over there? It's like we're in the light. They weren't saying anything, Dave. And you were.
Hey,
you
come
were
on now.
starring
Come on.
It's the shirt. I think so, yeah. It's like,
Do I have time?
meanwhile in Tunbridge.
Do I have time to go home and change?
That would be.
Hey, anyway, Eliza Minucci can't speak. Needs to be approved to be on the Conservation Commission for 4 years.
I make a motion to approve Eliza Minucci to the Conservation Commission for a term of 4 years.
Second that. Is she already on it? She is. So it's we're re-upping her.
Okay. On second,
I did.
on favor, say aye. She got it. Transfer station tree removal discussion.
Here he is.
Adam, you wanna come in?
Yeah. You guys want?
Sit over next to Mary Ann. if you will.
We've got a lot of things, stuff everywhere.
No estimate yet. I don't think there's got one from Isaac Peter yet.
Well, that's it. No, Isaac, yeah.
Yeah, so my other,
Well, fill in everyone about what your estimates are.
so yeah, I had, for getting the new fence in, trees coming out. There's a big one behind the shed down there. It's gonna be a problem at some point, and then dead ones on the other side of the fence, which I understand that's gonna be a little more complicated to figure out. Property state.
Yeah.
Other than that, my major issue over there is cleaning up all the fridges and stuff. And I tried calling the guy, no luck, several times, both the numbers that I had. And I don't know if he's alive. Yeah, so I called South Royal to find out who they use. They use NRRA, Northeast Recovery and Recycling. So it's basically like a membership. It's based on population. She told me it was like 107 for the year. And then it would be
Based on our population.
yeah, for the dues. And then after that, you can do free on, I think they do battery. But there's like minimum amounts. So I know with the bridges and stuff, I have to have 25 units before they'll come and pick them up. And then it's only got is $8 a piece. Have it done. We're getting closer. I don't think we're quite at 25 yet. So that's where I'm at with that.
How long have you been working at the transfer station? First of the year?
No, yeah.
Well, just trying to estimate, if you got 25 in the first 6 months, maybe we do 50 a year or something.
Yeah.
We need them to do it twice a year.
Yeah. Sure, yeah, I don't know, I think, well, I think Mike had it done before I showed up,
Right,
like, there,
oh,
so,
my God.
yeah. So, yeah, no, I have people all the time asking about different stuff. I just gotta watch them a little better and not sneaking in microwaves inside of them.
Yeah. I like it.
Oh, yeah, I thought, yeah, so much free, they have a microwave.
Just being thrifty.
Yeah, I guess that's one way of getting rid of it.
Oh,
Yeah.
But other than that, everything else looks really good.
did we hear from? Like how about, the,
You haven't heard.
Oh, that was my other, the concern that they brought up, my friend, when she did a look around at the place, was the dock there.
Mhm.
It's supposed, and I told her it's supposed to be replaced, correct?
Mhm.
Yeah, okay, because she was worried about, dropping trees. And kind of where it needs to be dropped is, dumpsters can be moved, but that was the only concern she had, was that, I'm like, well, maybe that's one way of getting it sped up to get a new one.
don't build a new one and put it there.
Yeah.
Still not a little building now.
Yeah. Yeah, other than that, that's pretty much everything else is pretty smooth down there.
So back to the refrigerant removal, we need to become a member.
Yeah, we have to be a member of it, and then it opens up a bunch of, basically everything that South Road takes.
Mhm.
We'd be able to do it.
With minimums.
Yeah, if we had space to set it aside somewhere.
Well, I would suggest when Mariah gets back from her vacation, that you contact her, which is next week, I think.
Okay.
And then she can, if we vote tonight to become a member of this organization and go down that path, and Mariah can take care of it and get going on it.
Yeah, no, that's the only thing I didn't know, if they were wanting payment, if I could just call them and do it, or if they were gonna need payment right then and there to do it. So, yeah, that's probably the best way of doing it.
Yeah, well, just, they might need a contract signed or something.
Yeah.
We'd be happy to do that, I think, anyway. If someone did a motion.
What's their name?
NRRA. I think if you look them up online, it's Northeast Recovery and Recycling Association. They're in New Hampshire, Maine.
Make a motion that we join the NRRA Recycling Association.
Right,
That's good enough.
I think it's good enough, just as long as Mariah knows to get hold of them and.
Yeah, no, I'll get all the info for it and just pass it on.
All right, all in favor of Mike's motion, say aye. Aye. We're getting Mariah on that.
All right, sounds good. I think that's all that I've got for you guys.
I saw you weed whacking on Sunday.
Yeah, oh, the only place that I have a hard time weed whacking here is they always have a truck or a trailer parked right next to the building. And I do as far as I can, but I don't.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, at the town hall.
Oh,
Yeah, I go as far as I can, but I don't want to weed whack right there and somebody complain about their trailer.
May not even our land.
Yeah.
There's, if it rip that, right, it's.
Yeah, it's basically, yeah, it's right next to the building, that's all it is. But that's what's done.
well, leave it ragged, I guess.
Other than that, and down at the sign down here, I did cut some of the brush. But it probably could use more, but I didn't know. Cause when you're driving in town, you only see that sign like last minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've been trying to cut it back a little bit further, but I didn't know how far back I would take it.
Yeah,
I don't know.
we have sign right away.
I was gonna say, it must be the state right away. You can probably.
I doubt it, well, there's nothing gonna go through, it's a culvert right there.
Right.
It's not like somebody's
Well, if
I went where
you cut too much, you'll find out about it.
you cut an acre.
gonna. Yeah, alright.
Yeah, going by.
You just see me up there on the side of the road, where town check, do it. All right, guys, thank you.
Thank you, Adam.
Thank you.
And then you're feeding through a rats now?
Yeah, I think so, actually, the guys down at the garage dumped some buckets too.
Yeah.
I think they're a little less, but we'll see. Still, stuff strewn about when I come in, so.
Aeration.
Yeah.
Punch
Have a good night.
Okay, button, or whatever we have to do. I think that's all we have to do.
Screen.
Sure.
All right, next on the agenda is
Man, we-
Dave Kimball. You can see his shirt from here.
You know, I could just leave and you won't know what we're doing.
At least your pants match.
It's rough. And Brenda Fee.
Brenda, your cohort.
Yep. Brenda's
One
on it.
hiding behind her.
There's no plan here.
I know.
So what you
Oh,
asked,
you're trimming fingers.
what you asked to do is to sit in on the joint select board meetings for police coverage for Orange County. And to see where that was going, and there were 4 or 5 Zoom calls over 4 or 5 months. With representatives from probably 12 towns, mostly select board members, and George Quintois, the sheriff joined us, and the situation is that they're
The
losing.
side judges also,
No,
they weren't, because they come up with the budgets, right?
the sheriff does the budget and they can go up or down.
These people were trying to see what we wanted, what we could we revive it, maybe with or without him, what do the towns want?
Mhm.
Do we need to reinvent it?
So George currently is running through losing about $220,000 a year in this operation. Side judges gave him like 37 or so to help him out this year, but it just doesn't look good. I don't think he's being aggressive about building this back up. He has an interest. He's not running again.
Yeah.
4-year term, right, so he's 2 more years.
Yeah, it's 2 more years. And it seems like before anything could happen at the Orange County Sheriff level, it's gonna be a new sheriff and probably another 2 years beyond that.
Mhm.
To see if they can build it up. Ryan started in Windsor County with some base and he's built it up, but George is pretty much starting from 0. So we had a meeting last month, I guess, and decided that we would talk again in January. But there's just no way
Nothing's gonna happen until.
And the towns are so different. What is it? Braintree spends $500 or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
Newbury's too far for Ryan to service, and
Yeah.
so they can look at, you know, other sources or the Lions State Police. We looked at the stats for Corinth. There was something like 85% of the calls were answered by state police, and very few by Orange County Sheriff.
And they were actually surprised at that, because they thought they had little to no service from the state police. So she was gonna try and get that message out, you know, they may be quiet, but they're still coming to call.
Right. Right.
So that's where we are, I think, for the next few years.
How does it work when they essentially deficit budget?
It's
Who
kind of like,
pays the bill at the end of the day?
it's like a private business. It's
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of odd. I didn't realize how weird it was till it's all went down.
Yeah, the county pays for the court officers, the state pays the sheriff's salary.
Yeah.
But I guess you just have to get rid of the contracts.
Yeah.
Ryan
Or
said,
you get grants or.
yeah, but
Ryan's thinking about whether there's a possibility he could run for both counties.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Yeah, he's thinking about it. He thinks that some of the towns might be far away.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's even.
If you were doing well.
He doesn't know, he was gonna look into that, but he came to our meeting and he had a lot to say. And it actually, I wasn't gonna attend very many of them, but the select board members were actually being pretty thoughtful. They were being hard, they were being candid.
Yeah.
About what they thought they weren't getting, never had gotten. And didn't expect to get, but what they'd like to see.
that their financial person, Orange County did a model and said that they were currently servicing about $2,000 a year for different towns. They had to get to 6,000 hours to break even, but they admitted that they hadn't figured out what it would cost for more cars, more officers or whatever. So You know, it becomes a cycle, more they go to $95 an hour.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, right,
So,
right.
wow.
The departments make a lot on, doing road work, right, construction work and stuff like that, don't they?
I guess so.
And they have to figure that out, I think, according to Ryan, I think.
Yeah. Well, that's what Bill Boniek said, he'd rather go out and set a construction site, because that's where they earn the most money.
Yeah.
Well, and also the deputies don't have to be at a certain level of,
Right.
Right.
Oh,
yeah, they're real, that's why you probably never see any of them go after anybody speeding through, right? They just sort of sit there with the lights.
George and Ryan said that $65 an hour that they charge in those towns is too low. But he's gonna cover his overhead.
Yeah.
Money.
Okay.
Down for.
Is the owl still on? Who?
The owl is on, but this guy's not back yet.
Oh, God. I can't see that.
Let's try this guy again.
We're already up to 30. 12.
Yeah, no, they're talking. Yeah.
Oh, fucking, well, that hasn't. Taken out, I guess. You.
Come on, we can do it. Yeah.
I think we ought to help Marion come to every meeting.
I don't think that's a good idea.
Does it help at all to run this before a meeting and make sure it's updated itself before the meetings?
I don't know.
Would that help? Because that's what happened to us a few times.
What does the big screen do anyway? It's just for us.
Nothing, it just shows you guys.
Yeah,
It just shows what's on the whole screen down there.
we can use the little one.
So participants, there's only one of us at the moment in here. So there is nobody joined,
Oh, that's sad.
but we did get booted off, so it's
Nobody.
possible that they,
I didn't see any there before.
no. Well,
We don't,
We still being recorded though legally?
I
yep,
think so.
I just started it back up again.
we don't need that thing.
No, okay.
In our old eyes, right?
All right, Mr. Baxter, are you next?
I don't know. Other business.
Other business, and you're first on my
Other
list.
factory.
I'm gonna stay here with you and Cass Baxter.
Okay.
So,
Sit next to Mary Ann if you wish. Sure. Are you Penny? I'm Penny. Okay, we'll get to you next. Okay, thank you.
How'd you know my name?
I caught your accent. It's just like your wife's.
Wow.
You
Oh, that was good.
Stopped to see him this afternoon and I talked to his wife. She said, "You're not home." Anyway,
Yes, here on cemeteries. Yep. So we don't forget, when you get this age, it's hard.
I know. I'm already.
Are you? Over to the meeting house, over by the town garage. I'd like to cut,
Good girl.
yeah,
Wow.
the other far, Mary Ann.
Wow.
sorry. Back in business, Baxter.
yeah,
Impressed.
I'd like to cut the front of that, back here, whatever you wanna call it, by the river. It's all growing up to trees and stuff. And, what I hope I can do is to take my tractor with the forks on it, and when I cut them, it's all right, take them up to the garage burning pile. Up by the garage.
And just push them in the river.
I could. And then I could tell them, who told you to do that?
You'd say,
Where is this
Gary
one?
Mullen.
Oh, it's a meeting house over by the
Oh,
town
that's-
garage, and that cemetery, that's grown up pretty bad on that riverside.
Between the cemetery and the river.
Yeah. Yeah, I did talk to Rudy and the town owns that, I am. In the river there, so
Does the Barnaby property go around our land or not?
he, I talked to him today, I had to come in and I said, is it just where the cemetery is to the river?
Right.
Or is it, he says, you're all set. So he said. I was, he's pretty sure that the town owned that.
So,
they'd have to go in from the south end of that, cause they can't get in on the north end of it.
so the town owns below the cemetery, between the cemetery and the river,
Yep,
and then all the way down through between the road and the river and where the rail bridge was.
I do not know that. But he said that was all right,
Rooney said you could put the trees in the river.
well, not really.
I'll wash up on Brent.
Yeah. So, I just wanted to get the okay from you folks on putting it on the pile.
And
And
then,
if I can't get in there with the tractor, I'm gonna have to cut it and pile it and wait when it dries out pretty good. and burn
The
it.
fire warden's gonna get after you.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rob's gonna burn that piecemeal in the winter, it's quite a sizable pile now.
Yep.
If you look at it, it's gonna. Sound
Until
party.
Baxter starts adding to it.
Yeah.
if you got any old tires, put them into.
Gary,
So, okay, that's good. On the trees up on the Stratford Road, there's 3 big hemlocks. Well, there's 2 great ones, one of them's broke off. And I got talking to people when I found out Dave Tolleson.
This is around the cemetery up there you're talking about?
Stratford Road Cemetery.
He lives between Randolph and Bethlehem, used to do stoves and refrigerators and stuff. Tolleson?
Oh, Holston,
Tolleson?
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah, he does it. He does tree work now. He's all, yeah, he's all out of stoves and all that stuff. So I got in contact with him. He came over Saturday. We went up there and looked at him. I think it's a pretty good deal, but it's not my decision. Take the 3 trees down, chip them, and they'll be on the ground at 4,500. And he'll be claimed to get them.
Do you think they are a danger?
Oh, yes, if they go in that cemetery, you're gonna buzz some stones.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he thinks up on top that it won't be too long. They look rotten.
Yeah.
Up there and yeah, they are. They are. So for 4,500 on the ground, he chips.
You didn't chip the whole thing, did you?
No, he can't chip the whole thing. But what I told him, if there was any logs in them, save them.
There'll be no sheet.
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm pretty sure that just let him know. So my question is, will save us some money if the town, if he gets them on the ground, if the town would take care of them.
and add them to the pile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And put some on the tires.
Or roll.
You could do that.
If not, then he would have to find a
Yeah.
guy that does a pickup. And that would cost us some more, but he doesn't know who or how much, but it would, to do that. I gotta talk to the other 2 guys and see what they said. But, just to let you know how I think I can help on money wise. The day or the night that Marie put that whatever fund on up to the Grange Hall that night, got 2,600
Wow,
out of that. And that, I'm pretty sure was for that cemetery.
Yeah.
She doesn't want to use it for the hemlock, she wants to use it for the fence.
Well, yeah, but they have always, not every time they see me, but they'd all say, when you gotta get them trees cut? Them trees are going in the cemetery.
Yeah.
And so, I did talk with Isaac probably 2 months ago, and I haven't heard a word from him.
well, I was just gonna ask you if you ought to talk to him, but
Yeah, I did. And I talked to Dennis Silly last night. And I was telling him about it, and he says, well. I might see him. Today, but I said, if you do. Make sure you call me and tell me what his price is gonna be. And I haven't heard nothing. But I did contact a guy in Chelsea by the name of Andy, but I don't know who it is, I don't know who. Think you guys know him or not, he's a tree man.
Peter Amber is a tree man up there.
Right.
Amber, I thought it said Andy, maybe it said,
Peter Amber,
could be him.
I mean, I see him around quite often.
Oh. But anyways, just to give you whatever, he did not see the trees. He wanted to know about them, I described them the best I could. And he said, just by what you tell me, it would probably cost you at least $6,500. To do it. Then, I haven't been gonna call chippers, but I know that's.
Yes, that kid in Randolph Center there, 40-acre tree service. He's got a couple trucks, you know,
What's boom?
booms and all that stuff. He does a lot of work.
He's gonna climb them.
Yeah.
That's what he said, so I.
Yeah.
Who's the guy in East Randolph, just north of town?
Oh,
Right.
Tulloch.
And I don't know anything about them, but they.
I don't know anything about it, but he does a lot of work.
See, this guy in Chelsea said I can give you, but he says I can't do it, I'm too busy.
Yeah.
I can't even, he said I wouldn't do it this year. He says I couldn't do it this year.
That guy in Randolph Center, early on, they were cutting roadsides on the interstate. They went from
Oh, yeah, well, that's you.
Royalton down to,
Yeah, I see they cut it and they done nothing to it.
yeah, cause I saw him, like, see him up the coffee shop there, and I said, where are you going today? Oh, going to the interstate. Yeah.
I wondered who was
So those
doing
are
that.
all locally subbed out, because they've been cutting them, in their state, like, Waterbury.
Oh,
Down, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I asked him if he was insured, and he said yes, he was. I said, when do you think you could do it, if you got it? Probably a couple, 3 weeks. So, I guess. But it would be all right with you guys if the town picked them up. What's the deal?
I think
I
so.
don't see a problem with it.
But I told him I wouldn't say anything until I talked to you guys, and then he'd have to find a picker, you know, if you want.
Right.
Yeah. Cause you probably load them with a loader right in the truck,
I
and
think
away
so.
you go.
Yeah.
There's gonna be a lot of chips. There'll be a lot of chips. So. I told him I wanted 1 load.
Oh, for a kickback, huh?
But anybody, so. If nobody wants them, is there a place down to the garage?
If I just back, put them up by the.
With the bird by
By the bird box.
Yeah, that's not the problem. They might want them, they could
They had
put
them
on the
before,
bank.
because I was-
Yeah, right,
When was that?
right.
When, that's when they whatever. they do.
Exactly, when they did it, and I went down and got some, you know, mulch through the years.
Yeah,
So we could do that.
Chips were good,
We could
for
just
filling
put
in
it-
holes and stuff, a lot
Yeah.
of ditches and stuff like that. So, yeah, I bet.
yeah, there's a lot of branches on them trees that's gonna make a lot. He said he had one of those dump. Trailers, I had to. Sure, he goes into Langston into his truck. Yes, so.
So if he actually go up the tree himself, or does he get some young assistant?
He got a son.
Yeah.
He said he helps him.
Yeah.
But he talked, the way he talked, he went up.
Yeah, he said his son is afraid of the heights.
Is that right?
Yeah, his son doesn't like to do the climbing.
Oh.
He's a nice guy.
Well, David's getting
Yeah.
older though, I mean.
Yeah, I was gonna say, he's not. It's pretty.
He says he has done a lot of work.
Yeah.
Well. Done some in Woodstock.
Yeah.
Well, he said. So. Okay, I haven't done anything on the cemetery fence over here. I did talk to Gordy the other day. And he's got nothing there. You know, the iron. And then I had a couple people tell me, what about the fence around the library? Going around down here, and I don't know. Gordy don't, you aren't really interested in it, you know?
Yeah.
But. So if that should happen, we'd have to start up to the upper gate. And come down through.
The white picket fence?
Oh, yeah, whatever, yeah,
Yeah.
if it was. Yeah. But. I don't know, I haven't done. I don't know who to get hold of. But. We all know it's gonna be. Big bucks.
Yeah.
Big bucks, so. I don't know other than that, so. Yeah. And just for the. Tell you what, I haven't done nothing on a garage. The only time I done anything in the garage when I went to Berkshire and then I come back and told you guys, but I don't. I don't know, I don't want my taxes to go up.
Brookfield's putting up a shed.
They are,
Enclosed heated shed so they can pack stuff in it.
What's that budget? What's the budget for that?
I don't know, I just know they just started billing, they've been talking about it for 4 or 5 years.
now was that the one out on 12?
No, 65.
Brooksfield.
Oh, up Brookfield, up 65, yeah, I've been at that for a long time. Oh, I don't know,
Cause they're working on it right now.
have it?
Yeah, they're supposed to be insulated and heated. That's, you know, no restaurant, no
Yeah,
nothing.
We could probably use it.
A garage.
Yeah.
So you park
Good.
the grader in it
yeah,
and the loader. So,
yeah,
Good option.
you know, I could go to Chelsea and I could go to South Bolton, but. If I can find somebody like Berkshire, why they just done it,
right,
rather than
because if you.
5-6 years back down the road,
Twice as much money.
we doesn't want to do it all, what's it gonna cost us? I'll take a trip over and see.
Yeah.
See if it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, so. Okay,
So we want to get hold of Rodney about moving the trees, just to make sure that
Okay.
he's.
Yeah.
And then if Rodney says, no, we can't do it, then you'll call Baxter.
Yeah.
And if Baxter doesn't hear anything, things are good.
okay,
Oh, well, goes back to here.
I saw you doing roadside mowing yesterday, too.
yep, I'd like to do it all. I really would,
Up on the state out.
I don't think they're gonna mow,
Yeah,
No,
huh?
They made,
Yeah,
I don't know.
they
Huh?
made one pass. Up 12, just one.
Maybe you better get on Baxter. Shame him.
but I will tell you something, when I worked for the state. This was not a high volume road.
Yeah,
right.
And when the salt comes, they want as much salt on this road as it was on 14, because this is not a highly traveled road.
Yeah.
So that could be why this road might not get. What the other roads are getting.
Yeah.
Which. But I did see they put. What do you call it, poison around
Yes.
guardrails and stuff.
Yeah.
I see this year that they
Yeah.
haven't. I know Robbie's all hollered about that.
Yeah.
Well, I wondered about that, because I see him go by one day and I said, boy, it looks like they're spraying.
Yeah,
And
Oh, V-Trans was spraying.
yeah. But you notice next to the river, they don't. And you notice that there's spot, they don't spreading it's close to the river, but. I know a few years ago, Robbie got right after him because they said. That is gonna run down into the field and it makes it
Non-organic.
right.
It's
So,
supposed to be highly regulated too.
is it-
Yeah, because the V-Trans has to ask the agency of agriculture for permits.
Oh. Yeah, so. Yeah, I'd like to see it move.
You get both jobs.
Huh?
You can mow and spray at the same time.
Back to get one of them helicopters like the railroad has.
Really?
Oh, spray?
That's next.
No.
Is that what they
Oh.
use?
Oh, mow?
Yeah,
Oh, really?
yeah, they went over Bethel
With a
last
helicopter?
year, yeah. And they got the railroad does it,
Yeah,
and.
Well, that's what done that chewing, it looked like hell.
yeah.
Oh, fun.
That's a helicopter.
Yeah,
Really?
I think that thing would catch and down in the helicopter.
I've seen it before with a arm on it, you know, back. The railroad had
Yeah.
Right, right.
Yeah.
two of them.
Going through Royal, I saw that one. It was just like
Yeah,
a-
Ah. so I gotta buy a helicopter?
Yeah.
You should.
we'll help you out.
Once
We'll
you
have
sell what's in your yard, you can buy a helicopter.
Right, you guys gotta buy it. Well, anyway, yeah, so,
We'll have a supper at the Grange Hall for you.
oh, okay, yep, yeah, but I did call the town garage. Yesterday and left the answer, on the answer machine, if they would mow this bank. Out here by the cemetery, if they got an arm grader, which I guess we don't, right, we don't have one now. So whoever's mowing, if they,
Yeah.
I'm hoping they told them.
He's got Stratford and Sharon doing.
Yeah, so if they could, mow that, cause I wanna keep that bank, and keep that fence clean. Cause I was gonna bring my tractor up, I could do the upper end back pretty much, but just down here I can't.
All right, thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks for going. Thank you.
Come in.
That's right.
And they didn't harass you.
He didn't even get another cookie, but he got one before.
He's out of here. All right, Benny, would you like to step into the hot seat or?
What's your name?
My name's Vinnie White.
I'm gonna go around Spring Road. Right across from the Gordon.
Well, this is John, Mike, I'm Gary. Mary Ann, Jeremiah. Brenda. Nice
Last
to meet
but
you as well.
not least.
Yeah, thanks for listening. I had come to the town office the other day and inquiring about just planting a couple of flowers in front of the town hall. And I figured I better get permission before I do anything. I just wanted to do it and I figured I better get some permission, but nobody was kind of sure who I should ask, so they recommended I come here tonight. And, you know, I saw they cut down some of the weeds there. There's nothing there. It's a small piece of land, 5 by 5 or smaller than that. Outside the window here. It's right, no, next to the town hall. You know, where the ramp goes down into the lower portion. So on the right hand side, there's a little piece, there's a between the handicap sign, standing there. So I just wanted to improve it a bit. I just thought it would be a nice thing to do for the Tunbridge Fair coming to make our town look a little bit better, and it would be no cost to the town. I would do my work and my.
But you just like flowers.
I just like improving things, making things look better. Well, I think it's a grand idea.
Who does the garden out here, which is so nice?
I'm not sure. My sister.
Next to the church?
I think,
Eileen does, I think.
There's like a
There's a
garden.
bunch of them
yeah,
that come down.
K, I see K out there. K is out there a lot, yeah.
You get 3 or 4 cookies
I get.
for that offer.
Thanks, I know. I have my own stash of cookies and then looking forward to it. But okay, so that's a go on that. I can do that, and I'm gonna put a couple of rocks in the front. Kind of even it off. We get a couple of perennials and dig it up. Yeah. Might not get done tomorrow. But yeah. In a week or something. Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank
Thanks very
you.
much, appreciate it.
We have contact info for you, if anybody has questions, like.
Did you call my wife today?
No, I stopped by, I was going down Spring Road.
Oh, okay.
But you sent an email to me,
I did.
so
send it.
I have that on my phone.
Yes, okay,
So yes, we have a contact.
okay.
Thank you, appreciate your time.
What do you have in your fence there?
What's that?
What's in your fence there? Is it a horse, a donkey, a
horse.
cow?
A horse, I have a couple of goats running around too. What kind of a horse? It's a small horse. It's a Icelandic horse. We bought it off of that,
Zebra.
great, she does fantastic work with horses.
So you guys ride?
We did on Long Island, we moved up here about 5 years ago from Long Island. We did on Long Island for a while, we haven't in 25 years. Haven't had the time, it's the family, and all that kind of stuff, so.
Yeah.
Horses took second place now. Should I see a sleigh or something in your yard, or something with shafts on it, so? Actually, that sleigh, I bought it on Long Island before I left. I do a lot of, I'm in the restaurant business, but I do a lot of stuff. I look at old pieces of furniture, stuff like that, restore it, or I just, I really deal stuff. So anyway, I was on Long Island and I saw that sleigh for sale. And I picked it up, threw it on a truck, brought it to my house in Long Island. We had it there for about a year before we decided we were gonna sell our house. And when I bought it from the guy, I said, is there a story behind it? Where'd you get it? And he said, I bought it in Vermont. Well, I'm gonna bring it back.
Where in Long Island?
I was on the South Shore, about halfway out. It's a town called Blue Point. Are you familiar with Long Island?
A little bit, yeah. So the Nassau or something.
It's Suffolk,
So.
yeah. My boys, two of my boys still live there. One of my boys is in South Carolina. My wife and I chose Tunbridge. All right, thank you.
How did you find out?
And happy we did. My brother-in-law was a not a court officer, a corrections officer.
Yeah.
And he worked in the building in Chelsea, that little brick building there.
Oh, yeah.
For many years.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so we used to visit him there. We wanted to buy that red house on the green 30 years ago. We probably looked at like 600 houses in Vermont, all over. But this one kind of fell in our lap, and we felt God directed us to be here, and we love being here. We love the people here, we love the town, the good, the bad, it's all good. But thanks for your time. Thank you.
Nice to meet you. Thank you, Vinny.
Night, guys.
Bye, Brenda. Hey now.
Judy Howe can purchase new nicer tablecloths for the town hall. Has priced them out at a cost of $1,200. But they say newer, nicer. And how much do we have in the town hall? Town hall. Repair and maintenance. We got 2,000. We've got $1,850 left. For repair and maintenance.
How much do you need?
$1,200.
I know for the weddings we buy, weddings that are, do like $10-15 a piece for those banquet tables.
Yeah, are they cloth?
Yeah.
Light duty cloth or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't get trashed when you wash them.
Right.
So what these must be some heavy duty.
I don't know. They're newer and nicer, it says.
Sure
Well, definitely do.
Yeah. But there's probably, how many tables in there? Just 10 maybe or something? That's $120 a piece. I don't think it's an emergency if we want to bid on that. We can. just figure it out.
have, Mariah find out what they are and have Mariah, you know, bring in some picture
Yeah, okay,
or more information,
Yeah,
more info.
cause I hate to blow
the whole budget.
the whole budget on.
I mean, we could budget for the next year, too.
Right,
Oh, it's coming.
yeah, cause there ain't much of any other thing. So we could steal it out of there.
What was your question earlier about the meeting, old meeting house cemetery? About, is it, was it about being landlocked
Well,
to the river?
Town owns from the.
It appears that it is there, and then Barnaby's.
What's the cemetery?
Right there.
What's going down to the,
Yeah, it's all the way down the river.
yeah. But pretty much straight line too.
Looks like the Barnaby property. If you
Until down.
put your fingers on there and
Yeah, do we own
separate
that
them.
land too?
what's that?
That, your question, did we own downriver, did we own that too?
It appears here we don't.
Who owns that stuff then?
Well, it says
I
Barnaby.
think Barnaby, yeah.
Cause when the town garage, the back fence that Adam's talking about, when the trees are, comes out to the road and then goes parallel over the road. And then it was a chunk that goes down to where the rail bridge used to be. The Barnaby's on.
And this is us too.
Yeah, that's what
There's
the
a
fence
gap
is.
there.
Yeah, that's the down, yeah.
Can you move that?
Yeah, you can just, if you want.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, good point.
Oh, yeah.
So this. That's the Barnaby estate that goes
Right.
through the line.
Huh.
It's all
Isn't that fun?
Well, this is.
Okay.
Under contract, it would be. Interesting for us to get in touch with the new owners and see if they're gonna. At some point down the road, potentially, you know, we would listen to subdividing it and selling the town some piece of that. Like
Yeah.
that little corner, or eventually, if they're saying what the hell.
I didn't understand how property gets drawn up like that.
Well, I suspect that
Right.
the big chunk of land at one point, the town garage,
Then they gave them,
right,
gave the
Who
town
did we-
cemetery.
Who did we buy the land for the town garage from? Ravels, probably? They own across the river?
Wells did.
They did.
I don't know if it was Jesse and Claude Barnaby, maybe that we bought it from, and that's why Levi had that extra over there,
Right.
and. But that's how things get all chopped up, is you,
Right. And was there an old farm on that side of the river on the?
not that I know of.
That there was in the floodplain, sort of, you know, good farmland there.
Yeah.
But there's never been a.
I'm good.
Mary Ann, what chief?
I'm sorry, you got it.
You too.
The bricks on the cracker.
It had good homemade cookies.
We know who's buying.
I don't, Bill, I did hear that Calvin Benjamin was interested. And if he's a contractor, maybe he's interested for, if it is from, for the sand. So we might have a chance to sell some for my concern. Thank you, Becky.
Thank you.
You want to sell me?
Robin.
I'll send it to Brenda.
What she's got.
They're on Facebook, everybody's famous.
Are we gonna have Mary Ann go over where the grants are at,
If you can,
or come to another meeting?
Okay, that's let's start with this one, Gary's signature on. So this is the Hazard Mitigation Grant Program, HMGGP. GP, this is the one for slide number 2 for Stratford that you just accepted, the Sanborn had bid on. So I need to sign there. Hearing. That's the document that the financial disclosure that we have to say that we're not paying any of our executives $500,000 a year.
You have to do that.
And here's one.
89. 3323.
And then this one, if you would sign that one, that's the notice to proceed, so they have not countersigned our contract yet, but by signing that and having them sign it, then we can actually go ahead and get the work started, because the contract piece always takes weeks and weeks, sometimes months, so that we will go forward. So with these 2 signatures each, and as soon as they get me back to countersign, we should be able to then let that Sanborn head start working, and that'll hopefully help them meet that November deadline. We can apply to get the real dollars.
They know we have a deadline.
They do, and it was in the RFP that whoever bid, you know, we were looking for this date for completion. The brick grant that we had posted for bids, RFP for bids 3 times now. We still have 0 bids, but I did a lot of work trying to get individuals to bid. And I've got the VHB company, which is the same one that's doing our sidewalk scoping grant. They've been going back and forth with me, and they have promised me that they are submitting a bid. So what I don't really know, legally, maybe John, you can help me, is since all of our bid windows have closed based on the RFPs, do I have to have Mariah reopen the bid and then have them send in their bid, or can they bid late and we can just look at it? Like, I don't know how this works.
Yeah, I don't. Well, I should probably ask the league
Okay.
how that works for municipal bids.
Okay.
It must be a workaround, I would think.
And maybe we just need to repost it, but
Right.
they have promised they will send a bid, so. But I'm waiting to see it, but that would make the planning commission happy, because we've not been able to move that one forward.
Hydration sticks.
What, that was for,
Like lollipop.
They came from, you know.
That was for the emergency corridor scoping. Again, to be able to apply for the next phase of money, you have to have a BCA, so we have to have somebody do the BCA to tell us what we should do. And then actually get the money with it.
How many of them?
All of these are in scoping studies.
right. And a BCA is the result of scoping study.
Yeah, the benefit cost analysis, they say multiple options, and here's what they cost, here's the best one of these.
Was the sidewalk then ultimately a BCA?
Yes,
It did.
so the sidewalks, scoping grant, I was giving you an update on that one. If you saw the board out here, we have 3, I think it's 3 alternatives that they've worked on. Because the same night that we were expected to get those storms was the night we were supposed to have our community meeting. The community meeting has been rescheduled to August 14th. So they won't be able to do the next step of that. Until they have the community meeting, which is a requirement of that scoping grant. So that's the next step on the sidewalk scoping grant, which feels like it has been dragging on forever. I met with Baxter, Dennis, and Elaine to work on doing a grant through the Old Cemetery Boca, Vermont Old Cemetery Grant, Association grant, to fix a couple of stones in Hutchinson. And I got the last piece that I needed from Elaine yesterday. So I will submit that. It's tiny dollars. The maximum grant amount is $750, and you have to pay. And it's a 50% match. And I think we're asking for like $350 or something. So it's very small, but it's 3 stones that they need fixed in Hutchinson's, and the Boca grant is very specific. Like you can't use it for fencing, you can't use it for maintenance, you know, like the tree cutting, you can't use it for actual new stones. Like it literally is just can be used for resetting or fixing old stones. So, but I will submit it and we'll hopefully receive it. I was hoping Rudy was gonna stay, but it looks like he took off. So the trails grant, it looks like we're super close to being done with that. They've installed the kiosks. The town worked on the parking lot. Gordy did some work. I think the last thing we need to do is install the benches, and Gordy, last I knew, Gordy had told Jonathan and Rudy that he would be installing the benches before August. So as soon as those are installed, then we'll, that makes that project complete, and we'll submit for our reimbursement for all of it.
That's been a long process.
That has
Where are the
been
benches?
Oh, at the town.
for the town forest by the town garage.
Right.
That is
Those
good.
are the ones that drove you crazy, right? A&Rs.
A&R's, but this has been the most ridiculous process.
I want you to read up a little story about that someday, and I will submit it to them.
Yeah, feedback.
Yes, that was the hardest $17,000 we've ever had to work for. Let's see, the slide number 1 work, where we have 2 grants that are through the state of Vermont, that is ongoing. I asked the engineer to give me an update on the engineering part, because that should be complete, because I saw there was some equipment, so it looked like they were moving on to the actual improving phase. So we need to make sure that we've got all the invoices for the engineering part, and then we can get reimbursed for that. So
that one doesn't stop with us then having to apply. It's a double, right?
right, because that was through the state of Vermont. That was the structures grant, and then the one that's technically we usually apply for paving, but it's not just for paving, it's for others. So there was 2 grants through the state of Vermont, one that we applied and got the money to do the engineering part, and then the other one that we applied for to do the fixed part. And
number 2 is totally different.
And number 2 is totally different, because Rodney estimated when he took a look at number 2, and then actually had an engineer up there originally. I think it was a FEMA engineer actually, because we're looking at something else. That's the sort of 2 of them are kicking around. You're talking like $1 million to fix this, and so that's where we said that we're not going to be able to do that with $100,000 structures grant. We've got to go after different money. So that's why we went after the HMGP grant, but that requires that silly scoping first and then submitted and then get treated. But the state of Vermont is the VEM, Vermont Emergency Management, is very interested in us getting the big dollars, the $1 million to fix it. So they're working.
Right.
And for them, the more like if they get sent money and they use it all up, then federal is more likely to give them more money.
That's the way it works.
So it's a positive for them if we apply for a big grant and get it and use it. So they really want us to meet these deadlines. FEMA. So only 3 updates. Let's start with the easy ones. Here, I need you to sign this. And actually, if you give me that telephone number again, 802-889
3323.
3323. Sign there. That's so we've had the debris removal project actually paid. Now we're getting I think it's Town Farm Road is finally being paid. Town Farm Road is finally being paid.
Tracker Road culvert.
And yeah, so and this one's only $7,600, small money. Then I have 6 or 7 other roads that are still in process. I was hoping Rodney would be here tonight. 4 of them FEMA has questions on, and I need to go over with Rodney, so I'll grab him tomorrow or the next day. And then the 3rd update really is that the Stratford Road culvert, they still haven't agreed to pay. I don't remember if I told you guys the latest, which is that my understanding now from our FEMA rep about why they're struggling to figure out how to pay us is because the fix that we put in is a massive improvement over what was there. And so according to the current rep that I meet with every Tuesday, he said that according to FEMA, the way we should have done this is we should have fixed the culvert back to its state and then submitted the request for reimbursement for that. And then the mitigation team would have came and met with us and said, that culvert's not gonna be big enough, it's gonna happen again in the future, we don't wanna keep paying for the same stuff that happens, so we're gonna approve your mitigation request to put in the giant improvement. But because we didn't, so because we didn't do it in the.
You wouldn't actually
step,
do the work, if it be approved, but then you could.
then they would give you the money to do the improvement and to do what we did, but they wanted it done in 2 steps. Which would have actually cost them more money, because they would have paid us for the first step and then paid for the second step. I can't understand that, but because we didn't do it in 2 steps, according to our rep, what FEMA is struggling with is figuring out how to pay us. Because they can't legally pay us out of the disaster recovery funds, because we didn't meet the letter of the law, which is to return it to working order, to appropriate working order as it was. So do they pay it out of the mitigation funds? But we didn't submit a request for the mitigation team, and the mitigation team didn't approve our request, so. At the FEMA level, they can't figure out how to find the money.
It's been a lot though, it seems.
So, but that's actually what he said, is that we are like one of 7 towns who are having the same exact problem. And I can't remember if he said Brookfield or Braintree, but one of the B's over there by Randolph. Apparently they did 2 culverts similarly, where they did massive upgrades. And they're currently not being paid for either one of them. We've got ours, and then First Year maybe has one. There's an assortment of towns sort of around us that had this exact same problem, where they were told, you know, Vermont state engineers came in and said, you need to make this bigger, you need to do this, and here's what you should do.
Does FEMA, are they embracing, you know, let's build everything twice as big? In general, are they? Because like, certainly we're getting that from Vermont, like,
Yeah.
because of the 100-year floods coming
Yeah,
every 5 years.
He said they wanted to fix it back to original, then we could make it
Then you could
bigger.
upgrade it with mitigation funds if you
But
apply
John-
to the mitigation. Fee.
John was asking if
Yeah, I don't
they would have
know.
accepted. Getting approved for, but not fixing it, and then getting the improvement portion.
Well, that's what they wanted. Apparently, that's the process we should have followed, but FEMA reps came out and
They
met with
didn't tell you
Rodney,
this, right?
and they didn't say that to Rodney. The Vermont reps were all here. They were the ones that actually inspected, did the hydrology report, and told Rodney what to replace it with.
Right.
And I mean, I wasn't in any of these meetings, but I know Rodney had told me multiple times that he met with a FEMA rep in a 3-piece suit, and the rep kept telling him, put it in. So we apparently did what we thought was the right thing. Everybody was telling us to go ahead and order it, and now they can't figure out how to pay it. The rep is still telling me, don't worry, we're pretty sure you're gonna get your money. They have to figure out on the back end bureaucratically how they're releasing funds from which portions to get paid. And
then there was the first hang up was that we didn't have proof, right? But
right. Oh yeah, we've jumped through multiple hoops now. So we've checked off each hoop. First, we had to prove that it was fixed after Irene. We did that. Then we had to prove that it has been maintained since Irene. We did that. Now they're saying, okay, we believe we have to pay you, but you didn't follow the proper process.
even though we didn't tell you.
So I am still hopeful we're gonna get paid for that one. And I think
we have paid for it, right?
yeah, we have paid for it. I don't know that we're gonna get reimbursed for it. We're hopeful that we are. So, you know, Brenda and I were talking in the coffee shop this morning, and we were sort of saying like, what is our recourse if we they sort of come back and say, you didn't follow the process, we're not paying you, or we're paying you some tiny amount. And I don't know what that is, but it feels like that would be then where we go to Kim Carnesi. She's the contact at the state level for all of FEMA projects, and go to her and say like, is there any legal recourse? There's clearly a bunch of towns. What if we band together?
Right.
But we're not at that step yet.
And
I haven't been
the congressional
official.
delegation probably could be asked to help with that too. Because it's federal. Agencies giving us.
Well, it just gets so complicated, and it seems like the FEMA help turns over all the time, and so you get one person telling you one thing, the other person says, well, I don't interpret it that way, and.
And it's not like we were playing fast and loose.
Right.
Regulations, it's like if they don't tell us, then they retroactively say, oh, you didn't do it this way, that doesn't seem fair.
Right.
Well, if the rep is the one handling the billing. The rep
Well,
told you to do something, there's a disconnect between the rep and the payment office.
Well, there's all, yeah, I mean,
Goes on
it is
and on.
very clear, there are lots of towers. There are silos
Right,
in
exactly.
the FEMA and in the federal government that don't talk to each other. I mean. When I meet with my rep on Tuesdays, you know, sometimes there's 2 other people there and there'll be someone from the mitigation office and there's someone from some other office and there's my rep. And sometimes the 3 of them argue about something. Well, I just sit there and listen and they're like, the 3 of them are disagreeing about the next step. And they're from 3 separate sections of FEMA.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I don't think we're at that level yet, but as I said, Brenda and I were just sort of kicking around, like, we should be prepared to sort of join some action.
Right.
If we don't get this paid, because it seems ridiculous. But they have not approved to pay it yet, but they also have not officially denied. And then we have a number of other roads that we need to still submit for, but at the time, you know, my rep was like, let's work on these 7, so we picked the highest 7 of the dollars for reimbursement, the highest on these ones. And we're trying to push these through just because, like I said, I mean, I literally get weekly, I get questions that I have to talk to Rodney about that come back from FEMA, you know, from everything like, you know, this one here, it says, you know, the GPS coordinates you gave measure 500 feet, but you only recorded 1,500 feet of disrupted road. Your quote for materials purchased also supports 1,500 feet. We need revised GPS coordinates. So like, I
Instead of 500, you have to do 50.
I have to go back to Rodney and say, can you go get me a GPS coordinate that's only 1,500 feet from the start instead of 500 feet or 5,000 feet from the start. Like silliness, like, come on, like, if we're only asking for 1,500 feet worth of material, why did you care that the coordinates are longer than that?
Right.
I'm not asking for money for longer than that, I'm asking for money for 1,500 feet worth of material. So this is the silliness that goes on every
Let's
week.
just sit at computers all day long.
Well, they got nothing else to do.
Do you sense that FEMA almost agency, you know, internally, they have a policy of just harassing municipalities until they give up? Because this seems how sort of medical insurance will work.
So, when it said they all use the word for insurance.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know that I could say that with any level of confidence, but what I will say is that they clearly have very specific policies and requirements. And, you know, literally, like, if your GPS coordinates don't match the distance of your material, or on one they even said sort of like, we actually think you didn't put in enough material. Like, they literally came back and said, you didn't request enough material for the amount of distance you told me. And I said, I had to go back to Rodney, and then Rodney came back and said, well, that's because I used a bunch of bank fill from the garage, and I didn't know how to charge for bank fill, so I didn't charge for bank fill. So it didn't, you know, looked like we used half the material we needed. And instead of just processing it and saying, great, they like stopped it because we didn't have, you know, the amount of material didn't match the distance, which has to match the GPS coordinates, which has to match what we said was the problem. So,
Make them happy, we're like essentially making money at the deal, like we're gonna bill out for our.
Right. Well, trouble is if you audit it
Right.
years from now, it won't make sense.
Right.
And they want it to make sense.
right. So they're very strict about all of these pieces tying together, and, you know, what I would say is that, like, that's certainly not my strong suit to know that, like, if I'm given 2 GPS coordinates, I don't sort of verify that they equal 1,500 feet, and then when Rodney tells me to use X amount of materials, I'm not going back and saying to Rodney, that's only 1,500 yards of material, and it says you should have 1,750 yards.
Right.
Can you find me 3 more crushed gravel invoices? But so it's just very frustrating from that sense, but it's clearly they have ticks and ties in their system that they keep kicking back, and we keep having to respond back with, okay, well, that's because we used 500 yards of bank fill. Okay, well, that's, you know, like this one, they've got one here where our GPS coordinates are 250 feet apart, but in our original conversation, Rodney said, yes, the road probably had about 700 feet of damage. So now I have to go back and clarify with Rodney that his original guess of 750 feet turned out to be 250 feet, and then if that's true, I'll send that in.
Yeah.
So,
Recommendation.
so that isn't, yeah, that is not done. Let's just agree that we have no more major storms that require.
Okay.
Whoever has ties with Mother Nature.
Yeah, I said no more storms, just didn't do it.
Chelsea, but not Tunbridge.
Washington, they, that's the one.
It reminds me that Emily was telling me at the mall homestead that like some hot water heater burst the one weekend and it was like spraying hot water everywhere. And so John Freitag, called up state storage sites. He's like, we gotta do something. And they're like, don't touch it. We gotta have a state contractor do this.
Yeah.
And he went and he shut it off anyway.
Right.
And the state contractor showed up 2 days later. It's like, you made it stop. It's like, they would have it like spread for 2 days. Yeah. And then finally get there. Like they have no ability to problem solve on the fly.
Right. They have their area of expertise. It's not shut the water.
Just these protocols of you have to have a state,
Right.
a federal person do this. Like they would be way happier if Rodney just dumped the stone in the, at the town garage, even if we didn't use it, as long as it met their 700 feet of materials.
Right.
And for FEMA, I mean, the only other thing there is that the rep did tell me that this storm and how it caused so much damage and it wasn't just like a single road or a single building. That I don't know if this is just him telling me the political thing or not, but what he said to me was part of the issue with why people hadn't followed the proper processes, because normally in a situation like this, FEMA would have assigned a rep and that person would have come out immediately and they would have done things like they would have taken their own measurements, they would have done their own assessment, they would have taken their own pictures. But they were overwhelmed, and like just in the town of Tunbridge, we had like whatever it was, like 23 roads impacted. They couldn't do that on 23 roads times X number of towns across the state, including New Hampshire and blah blah. So he sort of said like this wouldn't go this way if what had happened was the twister came through and took out 3 houses. They would have sent a rep, and that rep would have been here for a week and would have like done everything related to those 3 houses. It wouldn't have been on us.
Believe that when I see that.
But they're admitting that they're not prepared.
The problem is it's not realistic, like what is FEMA for? It's for a major event, not 3 houses, not, but
Even this last
small scale site.
small floods.
Yeah.
Small floods that impact one town.
Yeah. That's it.
Um,
Barry.
Greenfield, Marshfield.
And then just the only other things I still have all of the regular, like the Better Back Roads, the grants and aids, the structures, all of those I'm still working, like those are all still moving forward with Rodney as we can. Some of them are signed, some of them are waiting counter signature. Rodney started on one, so those are all still also going along in the background. So,
And then what are the updates on some of these things? Maybe Becky or Ryan. The whiteboard stuff, like health cloud, then the town hall and the offices, right? So
We know that stuff doesn't happen. Like the health club, I'd be interested to know where are they?
right.
all right, so let me look at my file.
Or emergency buildings.
We should have asked Dave, but I think that's in the law.
They got the big money.
Yeah, but there was something in the minutes, the Ross minutes in the paper that said Dave Kim was at the meeting and they were doing stuff.
So of the money that we approved, town offices purchasing an owl, he's here, he's working, he's good. The Soro ambulance's new building, $25,000, they requested their dollars, and I'm pretty sure Becky released those.
Yeah.
So those dollars were sent to them from the ARPA fund. The first branch ambulance, the dispatch expenses, they were also, I believe those funds were also released to, I would have C. Ackerman, I can't remember his first name. Chase Ackerman. Becky released those funds. the EMPG EOC grant match, that's the generator and et cetera
Oh,
out
yeah.
there. Those funds are already gone because we've completed that, submitted it, got our 75%, we had to pay the 25%, so those funds are already done. The town hall Wi-Fi dream machine, we have not done. The grants manager, that's me, you committed to 3 years and you've paid for, I think, a year now, you're maybe a quarter of
Yep.
that. And then the brick scoping study, we'd agreed to cover the match, but then the match got approved, so there was no funds needed there. So of the total dollars of our 398,767, we have,
What, where's the health hub?
yeah, so these are just the ones that I knew.
Oh, that money has left.
The money has left, or it is absolutely leaving,
Yeah.
right? So that's almost 121,000 of 398, the dollars that either already gone or you absolutely have sort of like waiting for the request. Of the rest, the health hub, I believe that money has already gone. I have a note here to verify with Becky. But I believe when they requested that. So after we approved all of the projects, I emailed everyone whose project had been approved and said, you know, here's the process after July 1st, you can request your dollars. That was last July 1st. You can request your dollars, and the majority of them did if they were someone like that. So the health hub, I will verify, but my note says to confirm with Becky. I think that she released their dollars to them. The town offices and the town hall weatherization, remember those are waiting on the MERC assessment. The MERC guys came in, did the assessment. We haven't received our reports yet. And so we were hoping that we could then apply for the next round.
Even though we
MERC
weren't
funding.
eligible for it at the moment.
Well, we're eligible, we're just not likely to, like, we're in that,
Right.
we're in like the less likely to receive the money tier. But that,
It's always a mystery why we were.
yeah.
It's because we burned too much wood, wasn't it? Yeah,
There's something why we were. Like, there's,
energy wise, we burn more wood than average or something, and so we don't
Yeah.
burn the fuel. I can't remember, somebody discovered that, maybe it was my neighbor James or somebody.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
it was like we were gold.
Yeah,
So bizarre.
right.
And then I have a note here to check with Mariah, because one of the other like almost $19,000 project was the land record digitization.
Right.
That Mariah signed the contract, and I just don't know where they are. I know she was like queuing up to work on it, so I don't know if we've paid that yet, but those were committed dollars that are moving forward. I think the only one that I'm not aware of, and then we have the sidewalk scoping projects matching funds are coming out of that, which is $9,900. So I think the only one that I don't have an update on was the solar array for the town offices. That one that Todd Tyson. I don't know that we've talked.
So those gone in.
Yeah.
One of them by the town
Yes.
garage, yes, weeks ago.
Okay, so I don't have an update on that one.
Oh, did we sign the
Because,
order last 2 weeks ago?
Because our bill was negative for the temper.
Green Mountain Power owes us.
Yes.
Gotta remember one.
Oh.
So those were the ones that so I'm pretty sure, I have to verify those a couple, but majority of those were dollars that we agreed to commit to the projects, and the dollars were released to them. The big dollars remaining are for the 2 weatherization projects.
Yeah, they gotta get going.
But we're still waiting for It's a Merc, right?
Merc.
And do you have any idea what the timeline is on that?
No, so the last time I asked them, because they were supposed to have. I feel like it was April 1st, they were supposed to release the next round of applications.
Yeah.
And they hadn't even sent anybody reports. In fact, we hadn't even had our assessment by April 1st. So we've now since our have had our assessment, but we have not seen the reports.
Next round.
And so I don't know how they could even release the next round of applications until they've got their reports.
Right, because all the towns were ahead of us, but the same time.
So I'll message our rep there and just see if he has an update on when they might be thinking those, but they subcontracted all of that out to.
FEMA?
Yeah, to FEMA. That the state selected a certain number of individuals who were qualified to do those assessments.
Yeah.
And subcontracted all the work out, and then so that's who we had, like a subcontractor came in, did both of our assessments, and then when he left said that he would be sending the reports to state rep, and then they would get distributed out to us. But he didn't even have our contact info. His report goes to state and then comes to us, so we've not seen those reports.
Oh.
State would have had it for a month, and just like it.
Right, but it's in the big piece.
So I'll ping him again and see state rep and see if they have any updates, but that's where we are with the whole up with these two buildings.
Yeah.
And if we want to apply for those grants, then we wouldn't go forward with doing any of the work until then. Because we can't get paid for it retroactively, or if you just decide it's more important to get the work done, we're just gonna go forward.
Right.
Because we have some money.
Because we have,
Like 40,000 electricity. We ought to have someone at least poke their nose in there, look at that and just say, man,
Somebody.
this is feasible, it's a disaster.
Yeah. it's like-
40,000 isn't
like,
enough.
Don't let anybody in here.
Right. Because if it's gonna cost us, just say 60,000 to rewire the whole building, maybe we ought to get a grant to take the other 20.
yeah, so we had allocated 144,000 for the town office weatherization and 54,000 for the basement and attic weatherization of the town hall. And
Those windows. are just on the phone.
And then town hall weatherization. Yeah, so originally the town hall quote from George White had come in at 160,000. And you all had only approved 54,000 for basement and attic only, not the rest.
That is included, yes. That was just what I was saying.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah,
but that was,
for the town offices, the full weatherization and the electrical upgrade was approved, and that was the 144.
well, that was almost 2 years ago too, so it's gonna be more than that.
So yes, looking at that, like, I believe in it, if the solar array has gone forward, then really the only things that I believe are still outstanding on that is the two weatherization projects from the ARPA dollars.
Oh, if I'm which is a state grant or federal.
I mean, it's being managed through the state, but it's probably a pass through.
Right.
Act 172 gave Merck 45 million. For sustainability. Municipalities.
Federal.
170.
That's the electricity.
It may be part of the, like, the municipal.
Oh, they had the remount car going, very big minus.
No, well, this is a library, something like.
Stamps and stuff, are you going on?
Yeah.
Right after the right stuff.
We'll get a letter. And Palmer here. See that packet.
Who?
Ryan Palmer.
Oh, no, I didn't. Read it.
Looking at purchasing speed radar trailer.
Oh, yeah.
They're running about 14,000 at 14 patrol towns. Was curious your town had interest ability to chip in $1,000.
You know, good way to raise the money for it.
Yes.
All gonna get to use it.
Won't say they 14 months.
Yeah.
Another year.
You know, what would, the ones you just, let's see, one in Randolph there. What turns into the, in the village, they're like $2,500, somebody said, or something like that. I think that's what, maybe Mary Ann or somebody. Looking at it. I don't know if it'd be further ahead to just spend a little more money and get something that would be here all the time.
Yeah. Done this, from some unnamed people. And willing to donate $100.
Something come over my way.
Have a professional render opinion of how to fire resistant of town state.
Oh, that's Peter White.
Oh, so Peter, Lisa.
What is it? Peter White's worried about stuff not surviving a fire in the safe, and he's willing to put $100 towards figuring out whether it's fireproof or not.
Oh. Oh, have an assessment then.
Yeah.
Isn't it fireproof?
I think, I mean, it was built in after 2000,
Oh, really?
I think, and so it seems like it'd be up to specs if it's that new.
Yeah.
Bus loads and one of the day.
Oh, really?
I met some really nice people from Arizona.
There was a what?
Bus loads of Mormons.
Looking at the
Oh,
marriage.
well, Eric, well, records.
Yep.
More than $10 a piece. Where does Peter White live?
On Moore Road.
Oh, okay.
Way up at the end.
grants out there?
Not at the moment, Rodney and Larry had asked me to look at one specifically for Larry's house. It's on the bank there. And I have to call that tomorrow. Unfortunately, you can only apply for the grant within 6 months of like a major event that's caused something. So where his bank is just eroding over time, it doesn't qualify for
They're
a,
welcome. Them for them.
they're looking at an event, an ongoing. So the rep at the state sent me, like sort of like, you know, Tunbridge rainfall hasn't had any significant rainfall in the last 6 months, so we can't count anything. He's like, if we get significant rainfall in a short period of time in the coming months, then we can call that your event. And then we can proceed with the grant, but like you have to have a qualifying event.
Right.
So, all of this is just crazy.
Yeah.
But if he wants to sell it now, if he wants to try to get the house bought out, then we don't have to. Because that falls under the like hazard.
Like you're married, they can never develop again.
Right. So, but I've heard from other people that, and he doesn't want to go that route instead, but,
Is that just as like rolling emissions, like if you are in a flood zone and you wanna eventually?
yeah, so that, and that's a different grant, and it's, yeah, and so that's like the floodplain buyout type
Right.
stuff. And if you're, you know, or if your house or whatever property municipal building is a hazard to the river waters, the watershed,
Yeah.
then there's an open ongoing grant to buy you out.
I get it, yeah.
But if
Your
you,
house is floating down the river, is that bad for the river?
I think that's a qualifying event.
Happened in Plainfield, right? I think the house went down the river.
But tell,
Oh, really?
yeah, it was all now.
The Marsh Plain, that one? That's not on the river.
No,
No, there's a motel, hotel, something that.
The Plainfield?
Yeah, that's what I heard on the radio.
Yeah.
No,
Where was it?
right on the corner, right by the bridge,
Oh,
when you went down.
yeah,
When you turned off the main drag, it went down
yeah,
across the bridge, it was right in there somewhere.
okay. They lost a bunch of bridges too, I guess, like a reservoir bridge, not that way, I think.
Yeah.
After another this way. They have
Went on yesterday, then
6 bridges.
Route 5 still out 2 spots in Barnet.
Are you kidding?
yeah,
Yeah, but for some sake, man.
Yeah.
There's Lindenville, I think, once it goes that way, right?
Yeah.
They got kept on it.
Yeah, Linville, retired.
It's so weird how it, so weird just with the flag across the state.
Yeah, we got, I didn't get even half an inch of rain.
Yeah. But Williamstown, not very far from you, got hammered.
Yeah.
And I think parts of like northern Chelsea.
I'll make a motion to adjourn with the something.
all right, accept that motion. Better now, she's on the bus.
Recording. Yeah.